that, and to understand it, we have to understand the role of technology today. So what this graph shows you is a move of data center or networking operating systems as we've marched through time. I've got 1995 here, but these are all rough timelines. I'm just trying to show a move from a connectivity era, which is on the far left, and that's, you know, very static, simple layer 2 networks, really no automation happening down in the connectivity area, especially in the beginning. And moving to the automation era, which includes right now. And at 2020, 2021, I think I would say we're in the automation era. There's a lot of solutions on the market on how to automate your network under almost any definition of automation. But the important thing to understand here is this orange curve, this orange line, which represents the OSs and the technology that went into these OSs, and how we got to the automation era. Because what happened was, from the beginning in the connectivity era, we had the base infrastructure of an OS. And to reach automation, we added on incrementally features. So we'd add on netcomp, we add on telemetry, we'd add on model-driven interfaces, we disaggregated the box. But the fundamental pieces of that architecture stayed the same. So we bolted on functionality to get to the automation era. And because it was not designed to do these things from the beginning, there are trade-offs. And these trade-offs is exactly what our DevOps elite partners were telling us we're missing. So what was missing is this NetOps era really needs to go on a higher trajectory. And to get on that higher trajectory, you actually need a rewrite and a rethink of the system. So it's not a complete rethink. We take the pieces of automation that are already there, and we build on top of that. But what we're building on top of that is the customization piece we're missing, the scale and performance piece that they're missing, and the ability to make things easy by getting rid of some of those trade-offs we saw from inheriting some of the features over the last decade or so. So I can be a little bit more prescriptive on exactly what I mean here. And I can show you on this slide some more tangible, discrete things that they were looking for. And I can walk through this build slide with you. But on the left-hand side, you see a network operating system and hardware. Table stakes now is you need to have an operating system that works with almost any hardware. So some abstraction level southbound to hardware is table stakes. Where the real work came is above there. And where above there, what I'm showing is the applications. So each one of these circles you can think of as a protocol. It could be other things in a system, but every one of these green circles is a protocol. And the protocols have to be discrete systems, because what you want from a customization point of view is to be able to say, of these available ones, I only want these 4. So you need to be able to load only the applications you need. This is the lean aspect of the requirements, getting rid of some of the bloat on the system. But the second thing you need to be able to do is, once those applications are there, is understand what happens in failure situations. You need to be able to manage the life cycle of these things. And this is something that's new as far as customization goes. It's not really easy for a vendor to know what the important protocols are in your network. You could have a protocol that I don't think is important, but you think is critical. So if it fails, fail the whole box. Or you would maybe want the option to take that protocol and restart it, or restart it after some amount of time. The options on what to do in these failure situations for what protocol should be completely yours and defined for your own environment, for your own applications, whatever NetOps goals you're trying to achieve. The other thing that the system needs to do is add functionality when you need it. There's 2 parts here: add functionality and when you need it. So in this particular case, you need to replace one of these green bubbles with your own application. So you might take a BGP stack from us, put on or somebody else. You need to put on a Go BGP stack because that's what you want. That should be possible because you have good reasons to do that. You want to add your other applications, like these 2 yellow ones on the right, you should be able to do that. This is the ability to embracing kind of that open source model where if you need something, a feature, you want to be able to code it and you can code it yourself, we'll get out of your way, put it onto the box and deploy it yourself and achieve your goals. And the key thing, and surprisingly simple but missing in the industry, is to be able to do this, add all these changes, add your own applications when you want to, how you want to, but have it managed through a single interface. So if this is a CLI, whether it's our application, a vendor application, or an open source application, if it's sitting there as an application, you should see everything in the CLI. You should be able to consume everything about that. You should be able to get, set, read, stream telemetry from everything, and do everything through a single interface. In our case, that's GNMI gRPC as a great protocol that can do everything we're talking about here. The other half of this, to turn this into a platform, and so what you've done basically is you've turned your network operating system into a platform. You've made it customizable, you've made it extensible, you've made it easy to read, easy to use. So when you deploy an SDN system over top of it, whether that's a vendor system or whether that's open source systems, whether that's in day 0 designing it, or day 1 deploying it, or day 2+ monitoring it and analyzing your network, all of these functions, whatever you need in your NetOps environment, can now use that single interface and consume the network, the fabric, as a platform. And this idea of making the network into a platform is exactly this: providing the network your own way when you want it, and making everything easy to consume. So my last slide here is just a wrap up, and I want to talk about how, in summary, the NetOps era we think is here today. We think DevOps has shown amazing progress, and NetOps is the next barrier. For you to achieve NetOps, some of the lessons learned we've found is that automation is key, and that underpins everything, but you need to be thinking about scale, customization, and extensibility of your platform, and ease of use as primary goals.